Howdy tankers, here is the M46 Patton, the Tier 9 US medium tank. Like other tanks in this line, it's known for having good gun depression and being a great hill fighter. Unlike the previous tanks in the line, it has a weak turret, so it has slightly different advantages and disadvantages than similar tanks in the line, and you're going to have to adapt to that playstyle. Here I am on mines, so I am doing the obligatory hill rush on mines. I'm up against a T-54, and you're seeing that without APCR we have not the best penetration in the world. This is made up for in a couple of ways. One is that you have really good DPM. If you can get shots in, you can do a lot of damage in any given period of time, and you can see that in combination with my teammates, we're taking this T-54 apart. But because the penetration is not great for the tier, it's only 218. It can be hard to get those shots in, especially against a well-armored tank such as the T-54. With APCR, that tends to be made up for. The average pen is 265, so that's workable. Here we've won the battle on the hill, and I want to use my gun depression to try to find shots to put in. And I can see I'm spotted, so I pull back. I have about 2/3 of my hit points left over from that little fight on the hill. And at the very least, I am distracting these tanks. They're paying attention to us up on the hill. They are not advancing to try to take the center area. And once again, playing with AP, we're going to get bounces on the front of even well-armored medium tanks. Would have taken that IS-3, but somebody else did. Tank has pretty good rate of fire, 7.3 per minute, and nice damage per shot, 350 average. It struggles with gun handling. It's got an accuracy of only 0.4, which is pretty terrible for a Tier 9 gun. It's certainly not the laser that an E50 has at 0.30 accuracy. And at long distance sniping, this tank, you can't aim it on weak spots, and sometimes you're just going to out and out miss. So we've kind of been successful on the other side of the hill, but there are a bunch of guys who've moved up here, and I want to do damage on them without making myself vulnerable. And if I can get those penetrations, I can do a lot of damage in a short period of time, which I'm not having any trouble doing on the front of this Jag Panther or the side of this M103. He's dead. Got one enemy tank left. He's not. I take a shot from him, and he's dead. That was not a bad battle. Second class medal, 3.5k damage, a couple of kills. Shows you somewhat of what this tank can do under decent circumstances. In this next battle, I am on Canal and trying to use the good gun depression on this tank. I'm aiming in, but I'm going to be hampered by the lack of view range here. I'm not running this with optics, which certainly would have been helpful there. And I've taken a couple of shots, and I'm feeling a little frustrated here. So I decided to relocate slightly. I don't want to be popping up in the same spot. This is a great general area for the M46 because it allows me to be a hill fighter. And one of the things this tank is good at is snapshotting. It doesn't have great accuracy, but it doesn't have the gun bounce that you get when you're moving around with some tanks. It has low dispersion on moving and low dispersion on turret traverse. So you can pop up, shoot with the marginal accuracy and pop back down. And you're going to miss some of those shots, but you don't need to aim in as much as you do with some other tanks. So optimally, you are fighting on hills at mid-range, and we are trying to do something useful to this tier 10 medium. I get ammo racked. I'm taking some damage here, but also doing significant damage, and we've been quite successful on this hill here. If this is a tank where you can keep the gun in action, then you can, and hitting and penetrating, then you can do a lot of damage in a short period of time. And so this is a tank that I am sometimes more aggressive with than I am with other tanks, because I want to take advantage of that good DPM in order to try to give my team an advantage as early as possible in the battle. So we take out this TD. We have an IS-3 Defender here. Use the good but not unstoppable gun depression to get that shot in. And now it's just a matter of cleanup. We get this IS-7, put a shot into him. Not going to get that other final kill shot there. And this was another decent battle. Another second class medal, 2700 damage, 1 kill, some spotting damage. Worked out pretty well for the team. This next one is on what is soon going to be the old version of Black Goldville. I've moved up here into this angled position, but it turns out the enemy is moving more to the south, so I'm angling in toward that tank, and I find a Leopard 1 up here, and I find that I'm going to have to be engaging in a bit of a duel. He's not playing well. This is not the kind of fight he wants to have. A Leopard 1 has great gun handling and terrible armor, and he would be doing better. I actually get a ricochet off the Leopard 1. That's kind of embarrassing. He would be doing better if he were at a further distance rather than having a duel here. So while I'm taking damage here, I'm using the good DPM of this tank to do as much damage to a higher tier medium as I can. Now I get a decent shot in on the side of this IS-8. He moves out so that I don't have a shot. Get a T-32 coming in to kind of assist, but he's also not paying attention to where I am. Take a shot, he moves in the way. Thanks a lot, my friend. I am not bothering to repair because I don't need a lot of mobility here. This is not a fast medium. It's not super slow, but it's not going to get around the battlefield that fast anyway. And I'm not bothered here by the slower speed. Here we luck out. We have an enemy conqueror who decides he just wants to go mano a mano with this IS-8. He charges out where we can just use our team DPM to focus fire and kill him very quickly. Now I'm gonna, this is a little bit of a doofus moment here. I do keep this T-32 spotted, but I don't have the gun depression to take advantage of that. And then I realize that there's the real threat is up here, and I start moving up toward these enemy tanks. And by the time I get up here, I don't have that shot. I come around to support this STB, don't have a shot, don't quite have the gun depression, and I have another doofus movement in which I'm kind of moving up and down, trying to get this shot, not quite getting it, line it up, and hit the fire button just a little too late to get that kill. You notice this tank does very well in a support role with other tanks. I have generally not found it to do well if I wander off into the middle of nowhere by myself. You also notice that these battles, illustrating decent fights with the M46, are on hilly, curved terrain. This is where the tank does well. On a map like Himmelsdorf, it's going to struggle because it really wants those hills and terrain features to work with. So you're going to try to find those as much as possible. I'm moving down here. Notice I have good gun depression, so I get that shot in. Pull back to where he's doesn't have a shot. Pull forward once he's distracted by somebody else, and take him out. So that was a first class medal, 2800 damage, 3 kills, some good assistance damage. I hope this shows some ways in which the M46 can shine. I'm really enjoying the grind on this tank. So I hope you liked the video. Please like and subscribe.